Send things over to Pooja and George as we continue to celebrate our 10th anniversary. What's up, guys?
10 years, Pooja. It's something else, huh?
It really is.
It really is.
I remember watching the very first episode as well, and some of the originals on the show.
Yes, the OGs, as you've been calling them this morning. Let's go out live now to Cam Woolley with a very special lady, Ms. Ann Romer, joining us this morning, a broadcasting legend and one of the best friends this station will ever have.
Yeah, George, you know, a lot of people, I think, Annie, you and I should talk about that. We've known each other since we were little kids up at Craigleith skiing. We're like 12 years old, skiing at Craigleith and some holidays. And friends, the mayor was involved in some of these ski trips and that kind of thing.
And one of my husbands, Podborski, as well.
and my sister ended up buying a chalet, so it's a small world.
So we've known each other for what, 20 years? If we were 12,
yeah. Dog years, maybe.
It is such a pleasure. I happened to be in the neighborhood, so I had to stop in and say hi to everyone. And imagine 10 years ago, we proudly launched CP24 Breakfast and never looked back.
Yeah, and I knew you off duty, of course, and then later as a police officer, you interviewed me many times, and we didn't warn Kyle about this, but Annie had this way of, when you're supposed to stop talking, the station says rap, and sometimes it sounds like a duck, and that rap, rap, rap. Annie would always get me to stop. Show him how, Annie. Kyle, you'll need to, okay. And then if that didn't work, it was the shoe time. She would step on my foot and then eventually an ankle kick, and that
If it
worked.
wasn't in his mouth. No, you're wonderful.
Yeah, I bet the station wished they had that sometimes.
Sometimes a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So, and you always have a lot to say. And so did the original crew of CP24 Breakfast. I must say, though, the show has morphed into something quite incredible. It is on pace, on beat, so smart, so funny, and the people are absolutely, genuinely amazing individuals. You know, I think about George and Pooja and Gurdeep and Billy, as I call him, Bill Coulter and Mika Modolo, and
Director Sue.
Oh, she's the best. She really is. She is my, I can't say knight in shining armor because I think that's kind of sexist, but she's my hero. I sent her a note about something yesterday, and I said, "You make me feel so special. You always have."
Well, I still remember that when we were sort of restarting CP24 from a pretty small little cable news outfit, and the boss, his name was Bob, said, "I want you guys to make a morning show. You got to stay late." And I was trying to get out of it. I want to go home, Bob. I live up north. He goes, "I'll give you a pizza if you stay."
Bribery works all the time, totally.
And that was it. I don't know anything about making a show. And so we went around the table. "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'll do the cop stuff." And he said,
"I'll do the news stuff." And then there was Melissa and Matt Babel, and they did the fun stuff. And then we had of course, the amazing staff as it grew and grew and grew into something that is number one.
And the technology
breakfast.
too. I remember we had cables that looked like garden hoses that we had to drag to everything, and they would get run over and caught in cars or
I didn't
sheared.
know any of this. I was the anchor, so it meant that I was in at one position. So I'm still amazed that the microphones are this size, quite frankly. This is 2019.
Yeah.
This is huge. This is like pass the baton.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks kind of 60s, you know.
Yeah, but isn't it incredible how Toronto has grown and changed over the 10 years? Our show has grown and changed, and it is number one. I couldn't be prouder for everybody involved, both in front of the camera and particularly behind the scenes. That is really the magic of the moment. It's what happens behind the scenes and the people who put the show together.
And I think the engagement with everybody out in the street now. I remember when we were new, they're going, "Who are you guys anyway?"
They would run from us.
Yeah. What's the CP24?
You're looking up.
Oh, I'm just. And Chopper 24 is actually above us. Hello, Chopper 24. That is a pretty cool piece of kit as well.
That's my ride home.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're putting out a rope for you, Ann.
There we go. I can do my trapeze work.
Yeah.
I believe that someone wants to say hello back at the station. You're live. Hello.
Hi, and we just wanted to make sure that we had a chance to also tell you that we love you and miss you so much. We still get phone calls into the newsroom asking about where you are. For me personally, Ann, you were such an inspiration. I watched and learned every single little thing that you did and wanted to be just like you, and I'm still trying, but you are amazing, and you send me these lovely notes every now and then just to tell me I'm doing a great job, and I really appreciate it, and we miss you terribly here.
I love you all so much. 40 years is enough, and you want to leave when you have great memories and you have a full windshield to look forward to and look through, because life is just beginning. I am now doing commercials, which is kind of fun, and I'm spending a lot of time with my parents, my brilliant general father and my mom. Dad is 95 and Mom is 91. Just stopping and smelling the roses and watching CP24 Breakfast. Pooja and Gurdeep, I don't know if he's with you on the couch. Do you remember, I think each of you came to me when they were launching the weekend breakfast show, and you each said, do you think I should do this? Do you think I can do this? Should I do this? And I said to each of you, yes, yes, and it will change your life.
And you were right, and you were right, and you have been encouraging us the entire time. George, you started with Anne as anchors at the beginning, back in
Georgie.
2008.
Yes, it's me with Pooja here. And look at you and I, it was my foray back into TV, and you helped make it an easy transition. You were authentic, you're an original.
Do you remember we did live? We
at
did
5.
Live at 5 together.
The OG hosts of that show,
Yes.
yeah. That was a while ago, but it was a great experience for me,
yeah,
and you made it
baby.
easy. Yeah. It's cliche, but you know what? You are one of those people who are the same off air as on. I just want people to know that. Exactly.
Thank you so much, Anne,
Same
for
with
joining
you.
us.
Same with you, Georgie.
I try.
Pleasure. Love to you all, and hi to everybody watching CP24 Breakfast, and continue to do so. It is the best show in town.
Oh, thanks, Anne.
Cam,
Anne.
thanks a lot, by
Thanks,
the way.
Annie. Oh.
There you go. Celebrating 10 years of CP24 Breakfast with the OGs. They were both there 10 years ago when this show first started, so happy to have them.
We're going to bring Steve Anthony into this. He's up in Chopper 24.
Hi, guys.
Some nightmare jobsters. Have you been fired before, ever, Steve?
Oh, like I'm going to admit that to you.
Come on, Steve. Be honest with us here.
Sure.
We're all friends here.
I just
Circle
aired
of
it all
trust.
out.
It's a circle of trust.
I've been reprimanded. Let's leave it at that.
Reprimanded.
And I remember this one, and this kind of sets the tone for my entire career. I remember early in my career, there was a general manager that took me aside after something I did on the radio, and he said, Steve, you seem like a reasonably intelligent young man. ... And that's the way it went from there. Downhill.
All right, Steve Anthony up in Chopper 24. We'll check in with you again shortly. All right, we're going to bring Steve Anthony into this. He's up-
Good morning, everybody.
I wasn't even able to shave back then, that long ago. That's how long ago that was. I wasn't even shaving.
That's when you're Esteban Antonio. You're
I was an
Latin-
international
You're a Latin
television
persona.
broadcaster. Hi, guys.
Morning,
How are
puppy.
you? What's my body language
Welcome
saying?
back.
No.
Yeah.
not
Yes,
it.
open up.
Open.
Yeah.
Open. Welcome
Wow.
back. Welcome to Early Mornings, Steve.
Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
How are you handling things without me?
It's
a
been
chore.
tough. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. We look at each other often, and I go, "You're not Steve," and
No.
he's like, "I know, I'm
know
not
I'm not
Steve. I
Steve."
will never be Steve." And then we both cry, and then we start the show.
Have
Yeah.
the complaint mails lessened?
Yeah, and it's just people that send snail mail. It's not emails. Or
That's right.
It's prisoners, basically.
People who send fax. Hey, how's Steve doing?
It's cut out from
Why a fax?
magazines.
Pardon?
It's cut out from magazines and glued up.
Yeah, that's the fan base.
All right,
Hey, man, it's
yeah.
good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you
It's so
guys,
good to
too.
see you. And that must bring back some memories, eh?
Well, it was. I remember Chopper Al, by the way, who was like, we kind of made him famous because
Yeah.
we showed his hands steering. Chopper Al retired in the last little while, so if he's out there, hi. And they would tell me, and Jeff Long would tell me, make sure you take that nervous pee before you get in the chopper.
Oh.
Because now I learned, before you go anywhere, make sure you take your nervous pee. Otherwise, you're up in the air for 2 hours, and there's not a lot
boy.
of things you can do about it.
See, this is one thing about Steve that everybody should know. You never get nervous because
Oh,
Steve
no.
is just Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just show up and you be you, and sometimes that means a lot of unpredictability. Like we don't know. Like even today, I got a little anxious, going, I don't know what Steve's going to do, but a little bit of excitement too.
I'm older and I'm wiser.
Oh, okay.
And when I came to the door, security, Jason, I told him what I was going to do, and he wouldn't let me in.
Oh
So I
no.
won't tell you what it was, but he said, I'm going to have you escorted in, so somebody shall see it come down to get me.
You know, it's,
I won't do that, by the way.
Thanks.
I think
I was gonna run on the set with Mirtori. I was gonna, when you were talking to him, I was gonna crash the set and go, "Why aren't you answering my ransom mails?" and then leave. But I thought
That would
it's
have
not
been
my
cool
show.
to watch
Not gonna
security
spoil
tackle
it.
you.
Yeah,
Huh? It would have been great to watch security tackle you.
It would have been good.
maybe you didn't want that to be your comeback. By the way, I should say that, obviously after you left, people asked about you and asked, where's Steve and what's going on. But the one thing that has come up over the years, over and over again, is Monster Jam. And I'm sure that you get it a lot too. It was the time that you decided it was a smart idea to drop kick a monster truck.
Yes.
And people wrote in saying this was their favorite moment. I think we actually have an email.
Yes, there's an
You
email.
don't hear the snap.
So
No.
Renisha Graham wrote in, this is funny now, but at the time, when it happened, when Steve Anthony decided to drop kick the monster truck tire and ended up breaking his hip, congratulations, CP24.
I still laugh about breaking his hip. It wasn't like I popped it out or something. I snapped my hip. It was just great.
And what people don't know, maybe, and you've told the story a couple times, is that right after that, you had to get ready for Dance Party Friday.
And I danced. I had a camera monopod under, and I just went like this. And then Weekend at Bernie's, you know the movie where they carry on this dead guy? Because I was in so much pain, the guys would have to carry me on their shoulders and place me. And then I'd do the break. Then I would be like in dire pain, seeing white, and they go, and you're on.
Oh my goodness.
And then they come off, I go, ah!
Oh,
So.
and you even had to report from the hospital because it wasn't enough to make you dance after you broke your hip. We had to talk to you while you were in hospital as well.
Do you know? Yeah, there's a lovely look. That's what I go for every morning these days, like that.
I'm told to ask you about Steve's silver chain. I don't even know what this is, so.
Oh, gosh.
So enlighten me.
Okay, my wife Tanya's got a great sense of style, gave me a silver chain, and I wore it with pride. However, a lot of people thought that it was horrible. So people said that I have to take it off and literally tried to rip it off of me.
Okay, we're going to
listen to this.
One sec. Let's share.
Nobody loves this chain, from what I've heard. Nobody loves this chain. Nobody. I thought Nia Bardalos was into the chain.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Right. Nia Bardalos wants the chain gone.
Okay, I forgot about that photo.
Jennifer Johnson wants the chain gone.
I had that
And she's
earlier.
running this place. Is that Sarah Salim wanting this chain gone?
I didn't know she was doing that when they took that photo. Was she trying to get that? Oh, my goodness.
Steve, listen to the women in your life. Melissa's laughing, and that means she agrees. Get rid of the chain.
Melissa Grello, Jennifer Johnson, our producers, yourself.
Yes.
Nia Vardalos.
Yes.
And Sarah Sleen all in one day. None of you know anything. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I got rid of it. I still have it, by the way.
Such acrimony over a piece of jewelry.
I know, I'm telling you.
encountered
I just keep it in a drawer next to me. I'll put it on occasionally and watch myself in the mirror, my little chain.
I gotta say, I got the pleasure of sitting beside Steve. We shared a workspace, and we actually had like this line where if he crossed the line, that was the line of death. He could not come over to my side. I don't know why I had this
It was
rule,
officially called the line of death.
the line of death.
So I'm working here, and something comes over, like a whip, and she goes whack, like this, whacks whatever it is, my mouse, my pen, whack.
It's my side. Yeah, and I mean, and Steve would do things like he'd be like, "Do I have blueberries in my teeth?" And he would just open his mouth and have me look inside of it.
That's so Seinfeldian.
Yeah, or if he
and
had
there you go.
an itch.
Oh, Jesus.
Spilling tons of coffee on the couch.
Oh my gosh.
As we speak, I'm watching it happen on my side. Fantastic.
Did you wet yourself, George?
Yeah.
Look at here.
You know what? We have seconds left. What are you doing these days?
Oh, okay. Here, so here, this is for you. This is the shameless plug stuff. There you go. This is for you.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And this is where, you know how guests come on and you ask them not to plug stuff and they then you
well.
give you a t-shirt? A Direct Global Commonwealth. What we do is we help small and medium businesses survive in the days of big box stores by giving them volume discounts.
Oh, nice.
There you go. Direct
Thank
Global.
you.
Look it up. Direct Co-op.
Can I use this to sop up the coffee and then clean it?
It's hers. You can ask, but that would
It's all
be
yours.
rude.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, Steve, it's so great to have you back on this 10-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Of course, were a big part of the show. Celebrating our 10-year anniversary, Lindsay Delaney is back.
Hey.
Yay! She
Hi.
was, of course, the anchor here on CP24 Breakfast for how many years?
Oh, 6 or 7. 6 maybe, 6, yeah, I know.
Long, man.
Well, I had some babies too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That
It just kept happening. So, including right now,
does
I'm
that
on mat
happen?
leave right now with another one. How does that happen?
How does that happen?
Take me back then, Lindsay, to your first day. Because, I mean, you were doing, like so many of us, you're doing so many things here. You were out in the field, you were reporting, you were anchoring. But when this whole breakfast thing came about, tell me about that.
You know what's so funny about the breakfast situation is that I was a reporter here for a year. And then, Ann Romer decided to leave the CP24 Breakfast show. And all of a sudden, I was just on the schedule. Like, I didn't have a conversation. It was just like, and now you are waking up at 4 in the morning. And I remember our boss at the time, I was like, so is this like a permanent thing? He's like, I don't know. And then it became a permanent thing. And thank goodness, because I just had the best time. Like, all of my memories of CP24 Breakfast were super fun. And one of the things I've always said, too, when you have to wake up at that hour in the morning, it's so good to have the people that are like with you and fun, and you want to come to work, and that's sort of what I was feeling like.
And I feel like, you know, obviously as the news anchor, you had a very serious role. You know, you're
very serious.
You're very serious, but you're not a very serious person.
I'm not. Oh, there's Drew.
Yeah, and there's
Look at
Drew, your
making it
husband.
onto CP24
I think
Breakfast.
Brooklyn was in that photo too.
Brooklyn's in my belly, I think.
Oh,
Or
yes.
maybe Walker.
And
or maybe
there's
my
us.
other 18 children.
That's you, me, and Steven, baby.
Oh, I remember that
That's
day, too,
when you
because-
came in
yeah.
to say hi with
That's
baby.
right. Oh, there is
There
Brooklyn.
she is, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
her.
see either.
Yeah, because Walker, okay, so that was Walker in the belly. I remember that day, too, because I couldn't find anything to wear, and I literally wore like a T-shirt. And it was my, last day there. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I don't think people really know about you too, is that you have an incredible sense of humor, which, you know, commercial breaks when, you know, we would all have such a great time. And then, of course, you'd join in on the
You're
chats,
ruining my
too.
reputation right now. Like, I'm a very serious news person.
And the dancing,
The
Lindsay.
dancing was just nonstop. Oh, yeah. Oh, the shoulders. Yeah, Billy and I would get into the ginger shoulder. Yeah. Oh, look at him go. Look at the guns. Oh, why is it always
What's going on?
Hands too.
But
What is going on
Why are
there?
my hands always doing that?
Oh, wow. That's weird. That's
Wait,
weird.
Is it weird, though? Oh, what's happening here? Oh, she's like, I don't want any part of this situation. Brooklyn, look at, oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Remind me, because I
Yeah.
remember you coming out. We went out in the field together a couple times.
Yeah, we
when you
did.
first came
Yes.
over, where did you come from again?
CTV Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Yeah, so I'm from Toronto, but
knew you were from
I
too,
worked
right?
in Halifax for 3 years, which was amazing, and just, I mean, friends for life kind of thing. And then I cruised into here. And it was June. You know, the first day I was on air was the day that Michael Jackson died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was. So that's why I remember. Like it was such a
man.
monumental day, and I remember going down to, outside the Eaton Center.
I remember that because
Yeah.
it's the day I had my date with my first date with my current wife.
And I
Oh,
remember
wow.
you going out. I remember when you were introduced to your wife. I remember all of that. Yeah, I remember the stories around that.
Do you remember the first time I met you in the hall and I didn't know you yet and you were walking down the hall?
So rude to me.
And I did
So rude.
I did a little Duluth is on
That's why
fire.
the hands
And
are up.
that stuck.
And you didn't know me, and
No.
you're like, hey, nice to meet you too, weirdo.
She was not rude. She was so nice.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. And that actually stuck. And there are a couple people that still, whenever I'd walk down the hall, would say that.
That exact
I mean, I
thing.
liked it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, you were on fire, you know.
It was the red hair. It was very confusing.
You know, it didn't take long for me, and probably all of us when we first started here, because it's so different than any other TV station or TV environment
Yeah.
we've ever worked at. And we kind of talked about it with the mayor a few minutes ago, to realize the power of this place.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, news happens. It's, you know, there's like 5 stories that basically we cycle through 100 times, the same kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
But this place is unique, isn't it, in that we provide a service. We become a service to people that need the information out there, not just trying to sell you some news.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I mean,
different.
you think about where CP24, the access that it has to people, and you're thinking like dental offices when you're getting your
Yeah.
nails, like absolutely everywhere
Yep.
you look, because it's you look at it and you can get all the information you need, not to sound like an infomercial, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I will say, you know, I left here, 3 years ago. I'm still with the family at CTV, but I still get people saying, oh, you're still on CP24, right? Like it's that, they feel like that's, I mean, a lot of people in Toronto, that's how they would greet me. And because we're such a part of their lives and they continue to be that way.
And you're
so-
just down the hall.
And I literally am just down the hall. Oh, look at that.
On your morning, yes.
Yes.
And so you can still catch Lindsay every morning, which is
am
fantastic.
I shamelessly promoting too?
Yes.
I had a T-shirt, but yeah.
But Steve stole it.
Steve stole it. Well, he seems to be still sitting beside me here.
Mop up coffee.
Oh my gosh.
It just goes to show that you loved being on CP24 Breakfast
did.
so much that you didn't want to leave morning TV. and
That's
so
right.
there you go.
I wanted to still wake up at 3 in the morning.
There you go. And you do it with a smile. We're looking forward to your return from mat leave
Yeah.
as well. Thank you
Couple
for
weeks,
taking
yeah.
time
Couple
out
weeks.
for us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
So fun
Lindsay.
to be here.
We appreciate
Happy
it.
10.
For coming.
Happy 10.
Happy 10.
Wreck everything.
We'll leave you with a little bit more of her wonderful,
we have to do that?
amazing dancing.
Oh, it's so awful.
We'll be back. Stay with us.
You and Bill have a real thing.
We're going to miss what she brings out in you, Bill.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Melissa. Thanks for
Happy
coming out.
anniversary. This is a huge, huge team. What a milestone.
Chuck wasn't on your list because you were pregnant when you were on this show.
Boy.
What was your craving?
Anything citrus. So lemonade, orange, lime drinks, a lot of ice, not too much sugar. I needed a tart. I needed to feel it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know what that translates to with my daughter.
No
but
pickles
that
and ice
was
cream?
it. No pickles and ice cream.
She knows
Yes.
when to be a little sour, maybe.
Oh, she's real good at that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that, guys.
You know, So I want you to take us back, Melissa, because when this show first started, on the very first day, you were here, but you were also here for all the meetings, all the planning, everything that went into making a show. To start a brand new breakfast show is not an easy thing.
Correct.
Take me back to that time.
Okay, guys, so we wanted some, oh gosh, look at this retro. That's my natural hair color, everybody, in case you're wondering. And who's that guy? We wanted to do something young, fun, fast-paced, modern, with it. My word in my head was, I want something on the air that feels like it is now. And diversity. If you take a look at this photo, we all know that in this city, we are diverse. On this morning show, I would like to say, not just my idea, and certainly everyone's idea, Toronto should be reflected on the screens in this city. And we were very proud then, very proud now, to show faces that look like the faces I see on the street. So we were talking about diversity and showing diversity before it was the cool thing to do.
And, you know, we both came from another TV environment that encouraged that kind of thing. And that's where I first saw you, before I met you. And I thought, you know what, there's an authentic storytelling way about you. You're like Cam, I mentioned that before too. You're one of those good show and tell type people. And that came from your background pre-television, didn't it?
Well, I was a teacher, so grade 7 and 8 teacher, also teaching horseback riding my whole life as well. And I'm a firstborn, and hashtag firstborns, we like to talk. And some of us like to storytell, so thank you for that lovely compliment. But it really has been, when you're at this station, when we certainly started this station, it was also on-the-job training. What is that, 10,000 hours rule? I think I broke that my first 2 months in the job.
Yeah, that's right. And it's all live all the time.
It's all live all the time.
And there's been so many great moments. I mean, obviously great guests that you got to interview, but there was one that I know stood out for you, which was a big deal. And it might not be what people think, because, you know, you would think maybe it'd be Tom Cruise.
Sure.
No, it was Cesar Millan.
Cesar Millan, guys, the dog whisperer. I'm a dog person, and I had a Doberman. And when Cesar Millan was booked on this show, guys, I was counting down on a calendar like a kid waiting for Santa. I was like, the dog whisperer's gonna be here. So of course I had to bring my dog, at the time Sultan, God rest his soul. And I really just wanted the benediction of the Pope himself, Cesar Millan. And you know what Cesar said to me when he met Sultan? He says, "This is a good dog." I felt like I was touched by an angel, guys. I was like, validation.
That's like blessing from the Pope.
Basically.
The infallible. Tell us a bit about Sultan, because I know he was the love of your life, this dog, right? And how did you come to get him?
We came to get him through television. He was on Animal House Calls, then hosted by Ann Romer. You may know her. I've seen her earlier this morning. He was a dog up for adoption. He had been abandoned at the Humane Society. A purebred, German-bred champion Doberman.
Yeah, you don't see that.
And I had just lost my German Shepherd at the time. I just caught a glimpse of my hair. It's really big. I digress. So I said to myself, I need to go home with that dog. I was still mourning the loss of my last one, and I said, he's it.
And I remember, like, I used to be afraid of dogs, very, very much afraid of dogs. And when I came in, Sultan would sometimes be here on set, and I used to be like, oh, this is not going to happen. And you reassured me that no, you know, he's fine. And sure enough, it was such a kind and sweet
dog. He would just sit at my desk back there, and nobody would know he's there until they walked around the corner and went, "Oh, there's a Doberman in the newsroom."
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned that you had, of course, you were a part of there's nothing like starting up a new TV show. You've had that blessing twice now. How much of we know this place is a bit of a sandbox and a playground, but it's also a classroom. How much did this experience help to inform the social?
This experience has given me everything. I think nothing less of everything. I think you guys know this. People who watch the show, I don't know if they appreciate how much work goes on behind the scenes. You guys are prepping all the time. You're reading all the time. You're in tune all the time. And simply the hours that you put in here, there's nothing that replaces the experience of being on the job. And you become self-sufficient really fast in this industry. Certainly here, certainly in news. It's the best training ground in the world, if you ask me. And this is the place where you're like, live, baby. This is where my love for being live was born. And that's just the way I like to do stuff. I love tape stuff, don't get me wrong. But if I got a choice, it's live, it's now, and that's a testament to the entire team here. You can't do that by yourself.
No,
I know
absolutely.
so many people miss you here on CP24 Breakfast. I had the difficult job of having to fill your shoes. Thank you very much.
The whole team is amazing. I watch every day.
And you know, we learned so much from watching you as well, just like watching Ann Romer. And you know, if people don't know this about Melissa, you should know this. She's the kindest, sweetest person. The person you see on air is the same person you see off air. She is absolutely lovely.
very
and
kind.
they're
Thank
very
you.
lucky to have you over at the social as well. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Thanks, Melissa.
Shout out to the entire team. This is the hardest shift in television. You guys make it look easy. Shout out to everybody downstairs. Sue Robertson, who has been our OG from the beginning.
That's right.
Shout out to her and everybody downstairs, the entire team. Chris Black, Chris Fisher, you guys. I love you all.
You know what? Whoa. If you're just waking up, you're like, it's not Friday. What the heck is going on this morning? It is our 10th anniversary. March 26, 2009 was the very first CP24 breakfast, and we have the whole OG crew, the ones that started this up, back in the house today. Thank you for being here, guys. It's been awesome having you and going down memory lane.
Yeah, we've been sharing a bunch of memories. We had tape messages as well. The mayor was here. A lot has happened here on CP24 Breakfast to celebrate the 10 years, but it cannot be a celebration without cake! So, a big thank you to Nadesh for bringing us this cake. We appreciate it.
Can anybody read?
Amazing. Thank you, Nadesh.
Thank you, Nadesh.
Beautiful. Wow. Okay, who's going to cut the cake?
Are we just diving in? Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, that's a serious knife.
Is that a sharp knife?
Don't give us a stick.
Is that knife sharp?
Okay, wait, do you want to say something first? A toast?
A toast? Is there a toast? Don't we need
Something
these for that?
Melissa, I think you're going to toast. You go
Okay,
for it.
so here's the thing. Nothing happens like this without an amazing team. So this is to every single person who has had either a fingerprint or more live their lives in front of this fine, fine city. That is all of you. Happy 10th anniversary.
Chris, Chelsea, we have Andre and Ryan, our producers, who have also helped to make this show come to you every day. So, happy anniversary, everyone.
Happy
Let's cut
anniversary.
the cake. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Is it down there? Who wants cake?
Yes.
I like the size.
There we go.
I like how she puts one hand over like it's somebody else.
Generous slices here.
Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.